Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Brewer.
Here.
Here.
Trustee Grant. Trustee Tate. Trustee Todd. Here. Trustee Zupan. Here.
First of all, I'd like to take a moment of silence before I read a statement in honor of our past mayor, Roger Peckham, who passed away early yesterday morning. And then I have something I would like to read. Okay. It is with great sadness that I announce the passing of Sauk Village's former mayor, Roger Gale Peckham. Roger was born January 11, 1948, and served as Sauk Village's 5th mayor from 1997 to 2008, completing 3 terms. Roger was married to Christy Lightfoot, and they moved to Sauk Village in 1979, where they raised their family. Roger worked for many years as an auditor for the Indiana Department of Revenue. Rogers first aspired to politics in 1987, winning the election to Community Consolidated School District 168 and serving as president of the school board for 4 years. In November 1987, he was appointed to the village treasurer and served in that role until 1996, where he accepted an appointment to the village board of trustees. Prior to Roger being elected to the school board in 1987, the school district had been suffering from reduced funding from the state of Illinois. Major financial cuts were made in order to shore up the budget through 1989. School District 168 Board of Elections made a tough decision and placed a property tax increase referendum in April of 1989's election ballot. While many other communities' tax increases since has failed, Sauk Village passed their referendum. With Roger's leadership, the long-term financial success of School District 168 had been assured. In 1997, Roger was elected his first term as mayor of Sauk Village and served 3 full terms as mayor. The successful birth of the logistics center of Sauk Village, the initial rail spur expansion, and the expansion of the enterprise zone, the new Sauk Village Municipal Center, and the Veterans Memorial are all attributed to his leadership of 12 years. Sauk Village's residential and commercial growth began again after a 22-year slump with the expansion of the Carolina subdivision, Deer Creek, and Lincoln Meadows, Weatherstone, and Plum Creek estates. I have ordered all the flags in the village to be lowered to half-mast in honor of Roger Gale Peckham through the day of his funeral. I hope our residents, former residents, and friends can join me in prayer and thoughtful reflection in honor of Roger, and especially remember his family at this time. His services will be tomorrow at 3 to 6 p.m. at the Steger Memorial, and that's in Steger, Illinois. I understand the Smith Funeral Home, and it's in Steger, Illinois, on Chicago Avenue. That's all that I have. Item number 4, Mrs. Claudette Bond,
Item 4,
carried. We're going to executive session. Okay, we'll start with item number 4, Gen Care Medical Care Center. Ms. Claudette Baum, please come up. Hope your microphone, could someone check and see if the microphone is on? It's on? Okay.
Thank you so much for allowing me to come in and speak really briefly about Gen Care Medical Center. I'm a new resident of Sauk Village, so I'm happy to be here. And I also work for Gen Care in Glenwood. So I wanted to share with you some of the wonderful services that we offer and also give you an invitation to come and view our healthcare center. We have 5 centers throughout the Chicagoland area, but the one in Glenwood is the one that's closest to Sauk Village. And it's on 19310 South Halsted, right across the street from the Speedway gas station. And one of the things that we offer to our seniors, it's for seniors, it's a one-stop shop for seniors. We offer primary care physicians who are on site with specialists. We've got free transportation, podiatrists, cardiologists, gastroenterologists, x-rays, ultrasound, podiatry. We have all kinds of fun events for seniors, like wig making activities. Today we had a paint and sip for the seniors. So we just try to roll out the red carpet to seniors who have Medicare. So we want you to know that there's a friendly, fun place where seniors will be welcomed and loved. We just embrace the Chin Med way. Our founder was once diagnosed with cancer. He didn't like the way he was treated, so he opened up Gen Care. And we're in Chicago, but we're in Virginia, we're in Louisiana, Kentucky, so we're all over. But for a senior who has Medicare, we're inviting you to come in through the month of July, and you will receive a $10 Walmart gift card. Or if you want to come in on the 30th, we'll just have special toiletries that you can pick out. But we just want you to come in, have a tour, and fall in love with our healthcare center. And I thank you for letting us come in. And I work with Sandra Murray. You guys know her, you met her. You're gonna see me in the community. You'll see me at Dollar General. You'll see me at the community events. And we want you, I'm gonna welcome you with love, but we will do the same thing, our doctors. They have a passion for seniors. So that's why I'm here to let you know we're passionate about providing great care to seniors. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Could you read some of those?
I'm going to give you my cell number because it's on here. 312-528-8633. Yes, I was there. Yes. Please here. And again, these are other services that we offer. All of the great services.
The entire pack, all the activities will be posted on the bulletin board.
Thank you for letting me come in and speak.
Thank you. Next we have Ms. Linda Mapp. Is I pronouncing it right? Maimon? Okay. From ADP, Automatic Data Processing. Thank you.
So, like the mayor introduced me, my name is Linda Maimon. I work for ADP Payroll Services. Sure.
Sorry, but we can't hear you.
Not a problem. My name is Linda Maimon. I work for ADP Payroll Services. My specialty is helping out small to mid-sized companies with payroll, taxes, compliance issues.
We can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. Is that a little better? Perfect. Sorry about that. Okay. Like I said, my name is Linda Maiman. I'm with ADP Payroll Services. My job is to help out companies with payroll, taxes, and compliance issues. I'm here today because I have been working with Dr. Strotter and the mayor for the past year, presenting ADP in a high-level overview of wanting to have the opportunity to earn your business, to help streamline the payroll process, as well as time and labor. What I did today was put together a packet of information. What I wanted to do was give the Board of Trustees a high-level overview, recap our pricing and the services we're going to provide, hopefully give you guys an opportunity to digest the information, and hopefully I'll hear back from the mayor and Dr. Strotter over the course of the next few weeks. Inside the packet I provided, on the right-hand side, you'll see about ADP. If I can ask you to pull that out, we'll begin over there. I'm not going to bore you completely to death with all the information, but just on a high-level overview, ADP's been in business 66 years. We have a lot of experience working with other villages like yourself. One of the reasons why I wanted to come here and meet with you guys is you guys have such a wonderful and close-knit community, but also at the same time, we're a little bit behind when it comes to technology and doing things a little bit more efficiently. So the idea of partnering with a company like ADP and myself will be to move you guys into the next millennial. At this time, I hate to use this analogy, but time is money, and the way you guys are operating right now isn't necessarily wrong, but it's creating a lot of, what would be the best terminology, wasted time and not as efficient. So what I'd like to do is be able to come in and streamline that process. Move you guys out of 20 years of old school mentality and bring you into millennium. So if you just want to go ahead and flip the page really quick, just really quickly, awards and recognition. ADP has been the leader in the industry when it comes to payroll and taxes, and we have been represented in Fortune magazine. Down below, when it comes to security, ADP takes a huge pride and focus on the security of our clients' information. We do not sell any of our clients' information. Any referrals and testimonials we've been given are posted on our website and are actually done by our clients themselves. If you flip the page again, I asked our president, Carlos Rodriguez, to just kind of write a letter to the village, just kind of recapping the benefits of using ADP and what our mission statement is. I would love for you guys to read that at your leisure. I did include some testimonials from clients. Again, I don't want to bore anybody, but we can read those at your leisure. And then the last page is just kind of the high-level overview of the benefits of utilizing ADP for payroll and timekeeping. And this is where I want to focus my energies tonight. First bullet point, ADP is going to assume 100% liability for tax deposits and filings. Right now, the way the village operates is it's a manual process. So that means if you're late or if there's any calculations or errors, it's a penalty of up to 25% per day that the village is going to have to pay. And it's very easy when it comes to manual labor to make a mistake. We're only human. So this would be a way for us to limit any complications in that arena. Payroll is now going to be in real time anywhere online. So we're going to have mobile access and online access. So that means that, I'm sorry, did you say, oh, I want to make sure everyone could hear me, I apologize. Payroll is going to be in real time and it'll be on a secure web-based system. And then what we did is during our analysis, I sat with the mayor and Dr. Strotter and went over what the focus and the long-term goals for the village was. And we were able to master, I'm sorry, did I miss something? No? Okay. Just keep going, okay. So one of the goals was to get better control over the administration side, to be able to track time and labor, hours worked, vacation accruals, be able to push and navigate the employees to one intrasite to be able to capture this data, and that's something that ADP is going to be able to provide. PTO tracking was a very huge topic for us, employees being able to want to be able to dive into taking time off, but there's never been a automated system for people to know how many days they had versus what they didn't have, and also to make sure that there would be enough coverage within the village if people wanted to take off time. Working through everything on a department level and company level was also huge. And just being able to get the employees to, focus more on their, initiatives of what they're actually there to do rather than coming back and forth and, asking about their paycheck stubs and time spent. So that is what I consider to be the payroll piece. If you open up the packet, I did put together a detailed proposal that recaps all of our services. What's really nice about ADP is everything we do is non-contractual. You just pay as you go along. So I'm not asking for a large investment from Sauk Village. All I'm asking for is the opportunity to prove myself that I can make the system work and be more efficient for you. So I waived all the setup fees and also included a 30% discount. So all in for your investment, I'm asking you to pay $146.33 every 2 weeks for us to handle all the payroll, tax, and compliance. So as you can see, the investment would be very minimal. If you did start with ADP and you felt that you just weren't satisfied, I do have the ability to go back and refund you for any monies that you spent. So I can definitely give you an opportunity to try us out without having any investment on your side. The second page of this proposal just recaps all the services. So again, at your leisure, when you are further discussing, if you forget anything I mentioned, you do have the bullet points there. So we talked about the payroll and the tax piece, and then the other component is what we call our time and labor piece. So this will be a timekeeping system that will be mounted up on the wall. There'll be one here, I believe, on this site at the police station, and then at, was it the firehouse? Public Works, okay. So what'll happen is there'll be 3 clocks that employees will be able to clock in and clock out of. All that information will feed into a central system, which will all download to payroll. So what we did was, again, we waived setup fees. We also gave you 2 months free on the time clock. So again, there's no investment that you'll need to spend. So we're looking at spending total $291.45 on a monthly basis for the timekeeping component, and that's after 2 months free. So again, we could implement a whole entire program for Sauk Village, bring you into the 21st century, really automate things, make everybody in the organization more efficient with their time. Also make the employees a little bit more happy by giving them tools and resources to be able to see their time and their benefits and their pay in a more streamlined way. And we've set it up so there's no investment to Sauk Village or any risk. So I'm not asking you to spend anything except trust ADP and trust me to be able to deliver on this. Were there any questions at this time? Yes, sir.
Get to the mic.
What are the different tiers of products that you offer, and how do we know that the one that you selected here, this enhanced payroll, is the one that suits us best?
So what we did is when I've come out and met with the mayor and Dr. Strouder, all of our services vary on a basic level of payroll and tax, and then they incorporate up to HR. We thought it would be best for ADP to take the moment to prove themselves by starting off on our basic products, so that is what our enhanced service is. The level of services that we also have do focus on HR, but at the time we thought that this would be the best solution. If we want to revisit those at a later date, by all means we can, but we kind of thought it would be best to take baby steps. Since this whole method of outsourcing will be new to you guys, I didn't want to oversell or give you guys services that just might be overwhelming the first time. So I thought we could kind of take baby steps into this relationship together. And I'm hoping this will be a long-term relationship.
And so annually we would pay the $3,800 plus the $325 for the W-2s.
So, yeah, sorry, so the annual price would be the $3,804, correct? And that takes 146.33 times 26 payrolls is how I came up with the 3,804.58.
But that's separate from the W-2 and the W-2 delivery.
Correct. So at the end of the year, ADP will generate W-2s for the employees. We break out the fee as a base fee of $49.95, and then it's $5.85 per form. So based on 47 employees, that's how I got the $324.90. And then the only time we charge a delivery fee is for the W-2s, and it's just a one-time fee of $10.50, and that's annual.
And so if our employee count does increase or decrease, does this number decrease and increase as well?
Correct. So what happens is all of our services at ADP bill on a per payroll basis. Our per check charge is $1.50 up or down. So if you add 48 employees, our fee would go up by $1.50. If you decrease to 46 people, we would decrease by $1.50.
So not only is it the 3,800 plus the 324.90 and the 1050, both of those being annual, it's also going to be this 291.45 a month
Correct.
plus 195 times.
I put that 195 in there so you can see if you get over your threshold of 47, your per head count on your time clock is 195 up or down.
So I'm sorry, why does it say per employee over 9?
I included that when I did it times the 47. That's how I got the 291.45. Sorry if I didn't make that clear.
All right, so it's per employee over 47.
Over 47, your incremental cost would be $1.95 up or down. I apologize, I didn't make that clearer.
All right, so per employee for the time clock is $1.95 a month. It's $1.50 per employee per payroll period.
Yeah, so what I did was I'm estimating we're at 47 employees. So really the only time that per check charge is going to be of a factor would really be if we're increasing our cost, because I know that the village teeters more between 44 to 48. So what I did was I just kind of rounded and chose 47. So I actually did my proposal on a higher level for you to kind of paint a picture of a worst case scenario. So I'm actually anticipating our cost to be less.
So when we add all of this up, what's the bottom line per year?
I don't have an annual fee on the time clock, so 291 times 12 is what?
3,600.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so a little bit less than 3,500 plus almost 4,000 for the
payroll service.
So we're talking what? 8,500? And did we, Mayor and Dr. Strouder, did we do a time study with our current employee who does the payroll process here to know how much of their time translates into X number of dollars of their salary, to know if we would be saving anything by
I
doing
actually
this?
did that proactively for you on the next page. Sorry to interrupt you, Dr. Strouder. So what I did was I just took an average salary. I just took a per hourly rate of $10.50, just because that was minimum wage, and I know your people are paid more than that, and I just did it based on 47 employees. So what I did was I just showed a breakdown of what studies have showed through the American Association of Payroll, what approximately 7 minutes is lost in time theft, and it equates down to $10,965.50.
Sorry, I don't think that's what I was asking.
Oh,
I was asking for the employee that does the payroll process today for the village. How much time does that person expend on an annual basis in terms of time translated into dollars to know how much of their salary is spent on the execution of payroll for the employees today, to know if this dollar amount here is less than or the same as what that person spends today doing payroll manually?
No, I did not do that type of calculations, but as you can see, it would be substantially, we would have a savings because that person wouldn't have to do that particular thing. But now they do daily, as far as the calculations for sick time, vacation time, and things of that. That's done every day because it happens. So if it's on the computer, then you just hit a button and you just enter it.
I understand that, but if they only spend 30 minutes a day out of their 8-hour day, that's a fairly small percentage of their day being spent on that. So if you translate that into, you know, their salary, maybe they're only spending $8,000 worth of a salary per year on this.
Just to chime in really quick,
Sure.
based on the notes that I had from Dr. Strouder and the mayor when I was preparing my presentation for you, in some of the initial questions we ask is, what does your payroll preparation cycle look like, so we can determine, how much time an individual is spending. So based on those conversations, one of the things that I was able to learn about was that payroll is almost a 2 to 3 day process, and it takes place every 2 weeks. So what happens is somebody has to manually gather the cards and then manually add and calculate them. Then they go through a different checks and balances system where there's different managers that need to be reached out to verify time. And then if somebody had any missed punches, I know they have to go back and try to reference the schedule and then track down that individual to find out if they worked. And I know the problem with that is half of us don't even remember what we did Monday, let alone what time we showed up to work a week or 2 ago. So I know that that's been one of the processes. Then after that, that information is then populated into payroll, and then somebody physically does manually cut the checks as well as entering in all the data. So you're talking about spending almost 3 days straight in just the payroll preparation every 2 weeks. Not to mention, whether it's an hour or 30 minutes daily on just trying to keep track of those cards. We're going to come in and take this whole entire process, and probably realistically, payroll is probably going to take the first few times, maybe 2 or 3 hours, just because there's going to be a learning curve. But I'm going to be able to get this systematically down to less than a 1 hour process for you, and that's my ultimate goal. But I do know that you guys are spending 3 days, and you have a lot of errors in the manual ways of the calculation. So what we want to do is come in and streamline this whole process. And the end result will be time saved, money spent, making employees more productive in other areas, taking the people who are spending time on payroll and giving them the opportunity to focus on other avenues of the business that are actually going to generate revenue for the village, rather than the low reward functions that are tedious.
The last question that I have, does this force all employees to do automatic payroll?
It does not, no. So the employees will have the opportunity to choose between direct deposit or live checks. So it's completely up to them. What will happen is live checks will be delivered by an ADP driver the next business day.
And that's already incorporated in this cost?
Correct. The only why there's a fee for the W-2 delivery is because we don't use ADP drivers. We actually use FedEx or UPS, so we could track the package.
What about training, initial training, and
So
what
it-
about support if there is needed on any given Thursday or Friday?
Absolutely. So I have over 22 years experience with ADP. I started in 1996. It's actually the only job I've ever had besides a cocktail waitress at Chili's. So I would definitely be here on site to assist Dr. Strouder and the mayor and any other parties that needed assistance with the payroll. We usually come on site for the first 3 to 5 payrolls. We are assigned an implementation specialist that will work with us over the phone, as well as a 24-hour support center. And all of our support centers work in teams of 3, and not more than one team has more than 20 accounts. So what will happen is Dr. Strouder and the mayor and anybody else who needs any training or assistance will be able to reach out to ADP. And one huge selling factor is the fact that we are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And is there a cost for that?
There's not a cost for that. It's part of our service. It's just part of our service model. It's how we operate. You can have unlimited training and webinars. We don't charge for them. Me coming on site is just me wanting to help the village to get acclimated for a chance to earn your business and prove to you guys what a great job we'll do.
Last question. I know we mentioned earlier a second ago that there will be a time clock here, police station, and public works.
Correct.
Can any employee clock in at any station?
Yeah, so what happens is it's a finger thumb scan, so it'll actually take a scan of their thumbprint. So we'll be able to recognize where they are clocked in and out of. We'll also be able to post a schedule for the employees on their individual portals, or text it to them, or even put it up on the internet. So depending on how we do the setup, and this is something we'll do during the implementation process, we'll determine how you want all of that set up. There's no extra fees for that.
Okay. And so I'm assuming the fire chief will have to come here or the police station to check in.
Well, the chief doesn't have to clock in, he's on set.
Yeah. So in addition to the clock aspect, there's also a mobile aspect that we can enable at no additional charge. So there'll be all sorts of questions that will drill down a little further in more detail as we're creating the solution for you guys, because everything is customizable. So it's not just a cookie cutter template that we're just going to say, okay, here, this is what you get. No, we're going to take your policies and procedures and customize it for you completely.
Sorry, I have another question.
Sure.
Will the department heads have access to an online portal with user IDs and passwords so that they can access and approve the timesheets then every payroll period?
Exactly. So what's going to happen is we're going to create a hierarchy where, based on what the mayor and Dr. Strutter says, whichever employees then report to those people will be the ones that they can approve, or they can go in and adjust time, things along those lines. So again, that will all be done during the implementation process. But yes, the idea is to create a hierarchy where management can go in and approve time, which will then flow to the payroll administrator. Then they can see the final product to upload into payroll and process.
Yeah, you only have a city of Blue Island that you're working with?
No, if you look on the first,
List of, well, your neighbor towns to us.
oh, these could be neighboring towns to you, but these are people that I've personally sold, so I only used references of who I've actually sold. So I'm sure there's others, but they're not people that I actually have a personal relationship, so I don't feel comfortable recommending. I need to give you people who actually know me, so.
Also, on the second page, it says no contract, pay as you go for our
Correct.
services.
Mhm.
You realize we're broke.
That's why you have a 30% payroll the way you are today, or any love letters that you've received from the government for late penalties and interest, which you have received. Since we'll be assuming 100% liability, that's going to be another area where you'll be able to save on, because there won't be any penalties and interest.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, trustees. Would you like me to leave these extra packets for you?
You can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is Payment Services Network, Mr. Miles Armstrong.
Good evening, my name is Miles Armstrong, Payment Service Network, and I'm coming here to talk about expanding the services you have with our company, specifically the addition of a payment kiosk. I'm going to be handing out a presentation that you can all follow along with. One moment. Okay, and additionally, I have a digital version of this presentation. Anybody wants to have? Oh, my apologies. Is this better? All right, thank you. In addition to that, I do have a digital version of this that I can provide to you. My contact information is on the card attached. And on the first page here, I'm Miles Armstrong, Senior Service Account Manager. Currently, you have online payments, automated phone payments, mobile app payments, our PSN call center payments, and virtual staff payments available through the city. And what we're going to be talking about today is the addition of a digital kiosk that can be added to one of your facilities in order for people to make payments without any human interaction required. We are actually going to be using the Pearland Kiosk Solutions. This is a partner that we've had. Pearland has been in business since 1988. They have been consistently developing technology for payment kiosk solutions. They manufacture the kiosks themselves and provide all the field support for the product. Go to the next page. And just like all other services here that we have through Payment Service Network, they all feed into the PSN digital system, which feeds directly into your accounting software, Civic, and deposits in one solid depository. So the addition of the kiosk will add a different venue for people to make the payment, but it will not involve an additional deposit or stream of data. We'll move to the next page. We're specifically looking at the indoor kiosk. This is easy for use indoors, touchscreen display, and receipt printer. It's built for heavy traffic and easy to maintain modular design. No customer information or credit card or checking is saved on the device itself. It is all transmitted directly to our online secure portal. So if someone were to steal this machine, they'd have a very nice paperweight. Remote cloud monitoring. If a failure occurs, an alert is sent to the Paraland team, who will send a repair team to update or repair the kiosk at that time. 24/7 phone support and emergency, next day delivery for any damaged or in need of upgrade elements to the kiosk. We turn the page. The kiosk is plug and play. You'd simply have it installed and it would be ready to go that day. The configuration with the Payment Service Network system would already be set up and the communication would be flowing. Have you moved to the next? We actually have here an image of the floor kiosk, and it doesn't really have a good reference for its size, but it'd be about the size of the podium right there. Next page on here is your extended warranty. This just goes into detail of the responsibilities of the Paraland service support in order to maintain the device that you would be purchasing. Next page. Now the payments are all going to be processed through the existing PSN service, the one that you are currently using. So there will be no need for additional education in regards to that process or the data that you receive. All of PSN is in full PCI compliance, highest level of security for online portals. It's the sort of governing standard. It's like saying something's kosher. Honestly, I could not tell you. Now, there's no payment or data stored on the kiosk itself. Again, it is a zero-risk physical object. The payment process, a customer would come in, touch the screen, it'd prompt them for an account number or name to locate their utility account, or we would also add other payment processes that would not need an account number for the registration. But for the purposes of what we're looking at right now, we're going to assume a utility payment as is set up currently. The customer would be prompted through the payment process, and once done, they would print the receipt. The next page here is just a breakdown of the data flow between the kiosk itself, the PSN system, and your Civic software. So information from the Civic software, account number, balances are transferred to the PSN system, which we currently use for the online interface. That data is then sent to the kiosk, so when someone accesses it, they are accessing that same level of information from the online portal. It is real-time through Payment Service Network. The current setup we have with the Civic systems is a nightly batch process, but I do know that you guys are looking at expanding into possibly the real-time, and if that's the case, that would just flow over with no need for change on either this system or the kiosk. Once a payment is made on the kiosk, data is sent to the PSN system, and then the payment is loaded to Civic in that batch process.
Sorry, what does IPM stand
The IPM is Independent Premier Module. This is the interface that we provide for people to use. In fact, it'll be the interface you'll see on the next few pages.
So it's the GUI.
Yes. Okay, on the next page here, you'll actually see this is the image that would come up on the kiosk itself for them to use. Fairly simple questions. How much do you want to pay? I'll move to the next one. When do you want that payment applied? Next. What payment method would you like to use? This can be a checking, savings, or credit card. Move to the next. Oh, sure.
Could you use the mic?
Yeah, sorry about that. So I noticed that this is saying that there would be a fee. Do all forms of payment using this kiosk have fees associated with them? Or if you're using your bank account, would it be an ACH so there would be no fee?
The fees that would be experienced on here are identical to what we have set up currently for your online portal. Currently, you have it as a free to the customer checking or savings, and a fee to the customer for the use of a credit card. And then finally, on the verification page, it would list everything off on there. And as you see, there's a fee listed. That's just for the graphic. That's not the current fee that you guys would be using. And that concludes it on there. Do you have any questions for me in regards to this?
Yes, I have a couple. Is there a battery backup in case of loss of electric, so on, you know?
No, there is not a battery backup, but nothing needs to be saved on the kiosk. If power is lost to the building, it will be non-functional, but no data would be lost.
And do you operate on purchase of the kiosk or is there lease?
It's a purchase of the kiosk through the Pearland company. So it is you would buy the machine. Certainly. The one-time purchase price of the machine is going to be $7,900. That said, Payment Service Network is excited to have this up and running, as you would be one of the first to be using this product. So we're offering a $500 discount in regards to that. So $7,400. $7,400.
If I can ask, I'm not sure who can answer this. Which types of payments are we talking being eligible for use on this kiosk? Water bills, tickets, pet licenses, car stickers, code enforcement tickets, all of the above, some of the above, what?
Currently, we have only set the process up and talked in regards to the utility payments which we offer online. That said, I have spoken to Dr. Schroeder in regards to this, and if we want to open it up to any of those other avenues, there would not be an increased fee to you for adding those payment channels. The fees would, of course, just simply be per transaction.
Right now, do we know what percentage of our bills come in the form of in-person versus the online payment right now?
We do know that. We do have breakdowns of what transactions are done through Payment Service Network. I had to assume some of the, the full potential of people are bringing in the checks. But it's coming in at approximately 12% using that online portal.
And then, Mr. Mayor, if we do decide to go with this, where would this machine go?
In the hallway.
Just right now.
Yeah, it'd be in the hallway if it would go there. Yeah, that's what it would be. I'm looking at the machine. It does look like it has a dispensary.
It does have a function for putting money in. It does not have a change function.
No. Well, I'm sorry. Distribution, not dispensary. Distribution. We wanted to go with the village stickers. Will it have capability of dispensing the stickers?
Not to my knowledge. I can work with Paraland to see if that's something they're willing to develop.
Okay. So then, and then basically with the water bill, it would be able to dispense a receipt?
Yes, it would dispense a receipt that the payer would be able to take. Also, you can enter an email address through the GUI interface, and that can be sent digitally.
Does it generate a report that shows on how much money that it's taken in? It generates a report?
The kiosk itself does not generate a report of what's going into it, but all that data does feed into the payment service network, which are the reports that you are currently receiving.
Okay, so how many times can we access the kiosk? How many times can a resident access the kiosk? I mean, can they take partial payments, or do they have to have the whole payment at one time?
That is something that can be configured, whether you want to allow for partial payment. Currently, we do allow for partial payments. We do have a minimum payment amount of $5 for credit cards and $1 for check, just so that someone doesn't nickel and dime through the whole system with 100 different payments for a $100 bill.
Okay, so at the end of the day, when it's being used, who generally, the report goes to your, what do you call that? It goes to-
The payment service network system?
Here has to reconcile the report to make sure everything's okay.
The system runs independently, and unless you suspect any issue, you do not need to do this on a daily basis. We do suggest a reconciliation between what Payment Service Network does and the deposits into your financial institution, but all those are laid out in those reports. And it is a process that is currently taking place with the utility that's using PSN. This would just add more to the reports they're already looking at.
So the employee here has to deposit the money in the bank, or
No.
how does that work?
That is all automatic.
That's automatic, okay.
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong, how do you secure this machine?
Here's the mic.
Yes, ma'am. How do you secure this machine to the building structure?
There's going to be a team that comes in during the installation process, and it is going to be bolted to the floor.
That's my good answer.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. We'll be in touch.
Oh, certainly. Now, I am going to step in here because you did ask me about the price of the unit, but there are some other prices to add on there, and I'd be remiss not telling you. There is a $2,250 installation charge, the bolting to the floor, and there is a monthly service fee of $395, which covers the service, maintenance, and monitoring of the device. Yeah, $395. No, that should be it.
You don't have a fee for it, like, you have to come in for repairs or anything like that?
No, that $395 covers all sorts of repairs. It doesn't matter if the part of the module becomes defective and needs to be replaced. Someone comes in with a hammer and smashes it. Those are all covered on there. There will be no additional fees in regards to that.
So there's no deductible or anything along those lines?
No.
This is our insurance policy, $395.
Exactly. And it's also for an immortal device, because as pieces break, wear out, or become obsolete, they will be replaced out. So this device will be a new machine for the life of the contract. And unless you say, nope, we're done, it will always be updated with the best stuff.
What's the minimum contract you're looking for? Term-wise? 1 year, 3 years?
Oh, none. We are not looking at a minimum contract on there, though in order for you to justify the initial purchase, you will want to look to have this functional for a good number of years.
I do have one final question, because we have before in the past used copy machines, and after we've had them for a period of time, so-called become outdated, and we have to upgrade. How long, okay, can this actual machine be upgraded without taking it out and bringing a new one in?
That is the plan. It is a modular machine, which means that if a part becomes old and obsolete, it is removed and something new is put in. If the monitor, it's 10 years old and it's not working quite right, great, we get a new monitor, we put that in. If there is a piece of technology that is part of the security that has been found to be more liable to a means of hacking that has yet to be discovered right here, well, we get a new piece of the machine, we put that in, problem solved. And that is always going to keep going till theoretically the end of time.
Okay, because the reason I'm asking, because we are, as you stated at the beginning, we would be the pilot. We would be the first. So
and just to say, you'd be the pilot with Payment Service Networks work with Paraland. Paraland machine, the device itself, what we've been focusing on here, that is a tried and true device that has been put into just about every one of the 50 states, and they have been using that sort of stuff since 1988. So the hardware itself is tried and true. You're not getting anything pig in a poke on that one. What is new is Payment Service Networks interface with the Paraland machine and combining it with your existing online services.
okay, and then also we have our systems.
The kiosk itself will talk to PSN, and PSN will talk to Civic.
Okay.
Now, so anything that happens between PSN and Civic, yes, we will work and we'll make that happen. But the interface between PSN and the kiosk does not involve Civic at all.
Does the kiosk have to be hardwired, or is it just hooked into the Wi-Fi network here?
It will need to have electrical and data connection. So when you're looking for the place to put it out there, you will need to consider that in its placement.
So not Wi-Fi.
Correct. We like to use the straight data line on there because it is much more reliable and less likely to be interrupted during the communication of financial information.
Which would impact where it already goes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay, sir, we thank you so very much. We'll be accepted.
Thank you so much for your time, and if you do need anything, my card is on there.
Yes.
Feel free to reach out during business hours.
Thank you. Item number 5, public comments. All questions shall be directed to the mayor. Each speaker may comment on any matter pertaining to the business of Sauk Village. Each speaker is allowed one opportunity to speak for up to 3 minutes and may not engage in debate or counter discussion. Yes, ma'am, please state your name.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. My name is Mary Wilkerson, trustees. First, Mayor Burgess, I would like to say the blatant disrespect by residents is appalling. I was sickened and compelled to speak tonight, because I usually don't. It is a disgrace to our community and its growth. This is supposed to be a civil meeting where we are able to voice our opinions about the conditions of our community in a constructive effort to make it a better place to live. Although many of our residents voice concerns which are valid, there's a right and a wrong way to voice them. At the beginning of each meeting, we stand with our hands over our hearts, reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag, which ends with this: one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Then one by one, our residents come here disrespecting the office of the mayor to the point of addressing you, Mr. Mayor, by your first name, not recognizing Clerk Marva when time is called, and talking while you're attempting to reply to them. Some trustees' comments addressed the residents' concerns that were unanswered. That's commendable. But I don't recall any trustees commenting on the blatant disrespect from the audience directed to you, Mr. Mayor. Regardless of whether we like you as a man, we should display respect, not only for this office, but also for ourselves. When two people argue, no one can tell who the foolish person is. So I understand perfectly why you choose not to talk over them or engage in debate. I don't care for many of the things our current president is doing or has done, but I would never disrespect him or his office. We as members of the thriving community should visit or revisit the Roberts Rules. Then we will learn or relearn that being polite, listening to others, focusing on issues, not personalities, and avoiding motives are some of the top values to conducting a productive and participating in a meeting. Also, Mr. Mayor, I would like to know the schedule, if there is one, for trimming trees away from the streetlights. While driving at night, I see that there's a hazard. People with dark clothing on, you can barely see them. So I think if there isn't one, we'd like to have one. And thank you.
Thank you. There is a schedule for... There is a schedule for trimming the trees. Now, away from the lights, I'll get on top of that because here pretty soon ComEd is coming out to trim some trees away from some of the electrical lines up and down Sauk Trail, and then some of them in the areas where the electrical lines are located. But in the neighborhoods, that's up to us, so I will find out and get that information back to you when the schedule will be and in your area where it will be taking place. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Linda Washington, I just want to say, first of all, I want to thank all of those elected officials as well as those in the audience that have been going to make your drop off to the library for school supplies so that we can have enough supplies to put in the 500 book bags that we will be passing out at Rickover School on Monday, August the 13th. I would like to encourage those that maybe while you're in the store shopping, everything is on sale right now, school supplies, if you could pick up some items to take them to the library during their regular business hours, that would be very well appreciated by the residents and by the students that's going to be going back to school. Also, we will have a sponsor sheet in all of the book bags with anybody's name on that sheet that helped to contribute to that. So I don't want anyone to say that they feel left out, because I've been announcing this. I went to the school board meeting last night. I was at the library today, and I am also back here again on tonight, letting you know that that's what the procedure is. You can take supplies that you buy by the library, donations or checks, or you can just make sure that they have a sign-in sheet that's already at the library to sign your name or your organization's name, your church name, or whomever, so that they can get credit for helping to make this event a success and a win-win for all of us. On another note, I'm just so glad that this is America and everybody can say whatever they want to say. Unfortunately, people deliver their messages in different ways. I am privileged to attend all kinds of events and meetings where people can get along civilly, but to get respect, you have to give respect. And when you don't give respect, you're not going to get any respect from me. And if I feel that somebody's disrespecting me or lying on me or saying something, I may not say it the way you think I can say it, but that's one of the privileges of being grown. I can say anything I want to say, however I want to say it, as long as I say it without being belligerent. With that being said, the ordinance for Facebook, I understand that there is a mechanism on Facebook where you can see the time frames that people are posting things, and it is alleged that employees that work for the village as well as other people that's associated to them have made up a Facebook page, Linda Renee Murphy, and it's just so funny to me because you just give me so much publicity. I'm a new author and I appreciate all of your effort to make me look good. I am not Linda Renee Murphy. My name is Linda Allen Washington, and I have never had a problem saying anything I need to say and articulate anything I'm thinking on my own. I am not Bob Murphy, so for all of you that have been calling me and flooding my phone, are you saying this? Do you feel that way? I am not Linda Renee Murphy. That's somebody that wish they was me, but they're not.
I'm Renee Richardson. I do not have a second page on Facebook by the name of Linda Renee Murphy. I go to Bob Murphy's page just like everybody else does. I filled out a big letter to let everybody know that. So if you go on Bob Murphy, you will see a letter from me stating what I'm about. If there's something that I have to say to anyone here at this meeting, the mayor, anybody, I'm capable and qualified for putting my voice out. I don't need to do it behind the scenes. I do it above the scenes. 2, I got a form that the mayor put out when he was running. So I took that and went over it very carefully. And what I did, I said, well, since the mayor says he wants transparency, I'm willing to help him do that. So I feel that anything that goes out, I want to make sure that it's truthful and straight to the point. So every time that we have these cameras here, listening to each of our meetings, everyone can go on Bob Murphy and see our meetings. Not only that, what needs to be told to the village will be done so also. I have nothing against the mayor as a man. I just have lost a little respect for him as a mayor. So I'm asking him, in his own words and his own statement, he wants to be transparent. I don't mind helping you do that.
Ms. Farmer, thank you, Mr. Mayor, trustees. Just again, I want to invite our seniors out to our day at the casino, to the Four Winds Casino. It's going to be July 28th, and we're going to be leaving here at 8:30, and we'll be back at 3:30. The price is $35, and it includes a $25 credit. And what we need now, by tomorrow evening, we need what they call a manifest sheet. We really don't need all the monies in until the 21st, but we do need anybody's intention of going. We need their name, address, city, state, zip code, and their date of birth to turn in to the Four Winds Casino to let them know who's coming. We're trying to get at least 30 people. I think we got like about 20 that has committed. So we're just soliciting, all you seniors, 50 and over, to go with this, to make this thing happen. So thank you all. I do have some more flyers on the table back there. Has my name, phone number, and one of the other senior committee personnel, Carol Coleman, her name is also. But if you all can call us, if you got any intentions on going, and have this form, or give us the information to fill out this form no later than tomorrow evening. Thank you all.
Judy Cast here. Last week I made some statements and you attempted to answer them and then was interrupted. So you did make a comment that I have to go back to, and when I was talking about the HR position, you indicated that she didn't owe us any money. I beg to disagree with you. According to the accounts payable, She was being paid by the Owens Group, and she was being paid by the Village of Sauk Village. It showed on the accounts payable. Therefore, she was getting paid twice for doing the same thing. The Owens Group let her go due to that. We have, at the time, we had 3 trustees that are astute in finance, etc. They never asked any questions about it, but the audience did, and there was no comment to that. I again say, the accounts payable showed that she was being paid twice, and therefore she does owe this village money, unless you made a deal with her right at the beginning and the Owens Group didn't know about it. And that's not transparency. As of right now, I question the fact that you sat there and you indicated that it would be 17 hours. And I recall Ms. Zupan asking the question for you to repeat it. And you said not over 17 hours. Our accounts payable is indicating she is over 17 hours. And again, nobody's asked a question. This isn't your money. This is ours. And we deserve some answers. And if she's getting paid overtime, is she getting time and a half? How much is she getting for overtime? We need those answers. And again, I will repeat what Linda Washington said. In order to get respect, you have to give some.
As I stated before, and I'm going to say it again, Dr. Stroller was being paid by the village for her negotiation that she was dealing with the contracts that we have with the FOP, and now we're in negotiations with the United Steelworkers. That's what you saw. The other part of it at the beginning, we did pay the Owens Group for HR services.
Right.
So it was one was HR services that we paid the Owens Group for on her behalf for HR services, and the other that you saw went straight to her was for her doing the negotiating work for us on behalf of the village. And that's why you saw, but you didn't see us paying her twice in the village for either or until she was let go from Owens Group. Then I picked her up and continued to pay her for HR separate and in negotiation. Yes, ma'am.
Pat Couch. I deeply appreciate the attempt that you made to answer my FOIA request dated July the 6th. However, I asked for the report, management notes, and invoices from the Kasperick accounting firm, and I only received a portion of their management letter, one invoice, and no accounting report. I would appreciate all the documents that I requested, as I am a taxpayer and I helped pay for their work. This is a copy of the report that you have signed off on. No heading. It has gaps in it, which leads me to believe it is not complete. You can see that this is a copy that has several gaps in it, in fact. One invoice that isn't complete for the work that I'm assuming that they did, which I don't think they're going to give us a copy such as this that you can't read unless you have a microscope. So I'd like to have the complete information that I FOIA'd. Now, the second part of my problem is I received a letter, copy, from our clerk, which I understand now we do not have a FOIA clerk, is that correct? If so, who is our new FOIA clerk? Is she trained? Does she have a certificate as a FOIA clerk? I had asked for a document stating the dates of an employee's vacation, which that employee has left at the moment, so I can't really go back and ask him. On the letter that Dr. Strouder sent to me through a copy I received from Margaret Pruitt, thank you very much, Margaret, I appreciate your help. It states on her letter that he took 3 P days and 1 personal B day. Well, this is a copy of his timesheet that you yourself and this employee signed, and there's no personal days showing, which it does have a section that says sick leave, vacation, holiday, personal leave, and none of that is filled in. So that leads me to wonder, what actually did that employee take, and how did he get paid? So I would like to have some answers to that, since that's been FOIA'd numerous times since April, and we have still no concrete answers, which leads me to think there is something somewhere that we need to have some answers. He was not employed during his birthday period. Is that my 3 minutes? I'll finish next week. Thank you.
You're correct, we do not have a FOIA clerk as of Monday. Have I filled that position? Today's Tuesday, no I have not. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. It was moved by Trustee Brewer, second by Trustee Grant. All in favor? Motion carried.